Alright guys, so I'm behind the wheel of the BMW i4 M50. You've seen the intro video, so let's see how the car drives. I did have a chance to drive a prototype version of the car, so it's not that different probably. I mean, there are probably some software upgrades that were applied since, but overall that should have been the final product. Nonetheless, now I really have a chance to test the car in its own land in Germany, and that should be a pretty fun day. So let's start with the driving modes. Just like your regular BMW 4 Series and the 4 Series Grand Coupe, you're getting three options: a Sport, a Comfort, and an Eco Pro. I believe they're self-explanatory, but if you're not familiar with them, allow me to explain. So the Sport mode, once you switch to that, the software mapping for the electric motor, it's a little bit sharper, so you're getting that extra boost of power. Of course, the suspension, the steering, they stiffen a little bit, so they're definitely stiffer, a little bit sportier, a little bit more connected to the road. So if you're into spirited driving and really good driving dynamics, then that's the one you should be riding in. Comfort, it's a balance in between, the low setting, the Eco Pro and the Sport. So that's exactly what you're getting, a comfortable mode. So if you're cruising throughout the city, or you just want to go for a road trip and you're not feeling like, driving very, very sporty, then that's the one to go for. Of course, you're probably getting a lot better efficiency than in Sport mode as well. And Eco Pro, once again, if you are chasing those kilowatts, then I would say that's your best bet. It will be the most efficient one to use. So let's switch to Sport mode. I can already feel the car being a little bit sportier. The iDrive system changes to a Sport individual mode, and you're getting a combination of red and blue colors to kind of denote the sportiness of the car at that particular point in time. I can feel the steering wheel being a little bit heavier, so even without going extremely fast, that's noticeable. The suspension is a little bit bouncier, so that's one thing that you will notice in Sport. And additionally, you're actually getting a fake sound inside from the Iconic sounds. And by fake sound, what I mean is you're actually getting a petrol engine type of sound. So if you're concerned that it's too quiet and you're not used to the complete silence in an electric car, then you can absolutely use the Sport mode and getting those Iconic sounds, which will give you different type of engine music. So as you can see inside, it's your typical 4 Series, and that's exactly what BMW was going for. In a conversation with engineers, they said that they want their customers to kind of feel at home when they go into the electric 4 Series. So instead of having a brand new architecture or platform like the iX, which is unique to that car, this one will feel familiar to anyone that wants to jump from a diesel engine or plug-in hybrid or petrol to an electric car. So therefore, there are not that many changes on the inside. There are a few blue accents here and there, which it will kind of point out that you're in an electric car. Of course, if you go into the Comfort mode or Eco Pro, or if you turn off the Iconic sounds, it will be completely silent. All right, so as I said, back in the Sport mode, you can probably hear the fake engine noise. There's a nice stretch of road ahead, so I can probably push the car a little bit. But before we get to that, just a few other things worth mentioning. Like I said a little bit earlier today, there is a boost mode, which basically for 10 seconds, you're getting 67 extra horsepower and about 48 pounds of torque. So if you need to overtake a car, or you need to push a little bit harder to get you out of a jam, then you can take advantage of that. Apparently there is kind of like a cool down period in between those bursts of power. Now I'm on the famous German Autobahn, and of course I get to test the BMW i4 in a different setting. So basically, if you're in a commuting situation where you need to get to work and you live in Germany, this might be your route to work. Fortunately, there is a traffic jam here, so I can't really go too fast, but I can share with you my experience when you just want to take like a road trip with the i4 or have more of a comfortable drive. So let's switch to comfort, and all of a sudden, you know, everything changes on the screen. There is a balance settings, so everything has been toned down a little bit. The car is not as aggressive as in the sport mode. Clearly, that's what you expect from this mode. And it just drives like a normal BMW. Honestly, if you don't pay attention to the engine noise, you wouldn't be able to tell if you're in a combustion engine or an electric car. And I guess that's the idea. Of course, the sprints are much more fun in an electric car. And you can see here, it is extremely quick. I mean, that torque just kicks in immediately. So that's fun. A few other technical details worth mentioning. Distribution, I believe, is 48-52. Also, the i4 uses a system called ARBX, which really stands for Near Actuator Wheel Slip Controller. It's a mouthful, but basically it's an improved system from the BMW i3 to help with traction. Only that on the i4 M50, it works on both axles. In this one, it's an X-drive, so another thing worth mentioning, there are two electric motors, one in the front, one in the back, to give you an X-drive experience. The i4 M50 also offers a self-leveling air suspension on the rear axle. It comes standard with the adaptive. And speaking of the adaptive, there is also an adaptive brake regeneration mode. Just like the iX, there were really two modes. One is called adaptive, the other one it's called B. And basically the B mode, it's the one paddle feel with a low, medium and high setting. I've talked about that in the iX video, so you can take a look at that as well. But the idea here is to really control the amount of energy being regenerated by braking. So if you're more into letting the car brake by itself, then you can go to the highest setting and that will give you likely the most energy back. Or if you just want the i4 to do all the work for you, just switch to the adaptive and you will adjust the braking system basically based on the driving conditions and a bunch of other factors. I'm going to test again the B regeneration mode. I think right now it's set on the medium setting, so I'm not getting that full braking capability, like the full one paddle feel. So you can always adjust that if you want to take advantage of it. I do encourage people that they're new to electric cars to, you know, slowly ease into that, because it can give you some motion sickness if you're not used to it. But once you get adjusted to it, then you kind of learn. You kind of learn when to lift up the acceleration pedal, and the car will just come to a stop at the right time. So there are many times in the city where, you know, I know that if I'm going to lift off the pedal right now and I have another, you know, 20, 30 yards to go till the stop sign or till the light, the car will stop. So in time, you will learn those things, you know, from your car, and that's exactly what makes the one pedal driving, you know, so much fun. I mean, I think in the long run, you're also saving the brake pads, and that's always a plus. Another interesting tidbit, there is no frunk on this car, same like the iX. So that's I would love to have that, but it's not mandatory. I know there are people that they're really passionate about that frunk. I honestly haven't used it too much on the i3, but apparently in some cities it's more of a safety issue, a security issue of you know, storing, you know, bags or purses. I guess it's not as easy as to steal them from a trunk, or if you have like a glass lift back like on the i3, then basically that frunk will protect your belongings a little bit better. Other than that, I don't see much use of the frunk. And according to BMW, there was not much room under the hood to actually, you know, fit in a proper frunk and being waterproof. So I guess that's the official explanation that I received. The tire configuration, it's 265, 285 front, rear. So that gives the car a very sporty stance on the road. I believe it's also 53 millimeters lower to the ground than a regular 3 Series. So of course that's going to help with the balance, the driving dynamics, and it's just going to feel like a sportier car than a regular 3 Series. And I've actually noticed that going through some of the curves, the car just felt planted. There was a lot of grip, of course, thanks to the summer tires, the performance tires, but also because of the X-Drive. So there was no point in time where I felt like I'm losing traction or there is too much power going to one wheel. So that actually felt great, especially when I was trying to go super, super fast. And right now, since I'm on the Autobahn, I'm up to like 170. We need to brake again. Of course, if I was in the B mode, I would let the car do a lot of the braking itself. Let's see how that feels. So now I'm in the B mode. I accelerate. I lift up the gas pedal, which I still call that the gas pedal, even though it's the acceleration pedal. But it just got a very aggressive braking right now. So if you're not into that, stop and go feel, then you can always go into the iDrive system and adjust the intensity of the brake regeneration in the B mode. So some of you might be asking, why would I want to pick an electric car over a combustion engine, especially in a sporty BMW? So I can just share with you my own experience of owning an i3 and also a BMW 1M. Even though I truly enjoy the 1M and the sound, the driving experience and all of that, there are many, many, many times when I reach to my i3 for my next trip, or even if I have to run quick errands. And mostly because it's effortless to drive. And that's one thing that I like about the i3 and about the i4. They're so easy to drive. You can still have a lot of fun. You can pass other cars quickly. You can make some really quick maneuvers in city traffic, for example, and that could be quite useful. I also love the fact that this is the car of the future, right? It might not be perfect yet. There might still be a lot of iteration to electric cars, but eventually we'll get to one point where this will be the norm. So that's the thing with electric cars. They don't feel like a compromise today. I mean, honestly, when I'm behind the wheel of this car, I just feel like I'm having a lot of fun. I mean, there is nothing that I'm missing from a combustion engine. Of course, you might mention the sound, yes, okay, clearly, but from a driving experience, it's just as fun, if not even more fun. I mean, honestly, I can accelerate quicker. As you can see here, I can go pretty fast in corners. I mean, right now I'm actually flying through those corners here. I can brake just as good, if not better, because of the new integrated braking, so that's nice. And overall, it just feels like I'm in a super fast car, and I don't even think about, if it's an electric car or if it's a combustion engine. It's simply just fun to drive. So while most of us are still petrol heads, you have to appreciate the fact that many automakers, including BMW, are now offering a lot of options. So if you're looking for a plug-in hybrid, if you want to get into the electric world but you're not sure yet if the car is for you, there are plenty of BMW plug-in hybrid options. So that's one way to kind of ease yourself into the electric world. Or you can just simply jump into a BMW i4 and go fully electric. You're getting plenty of range. If you do have the luxury to be able to charge the car at your home or at the office, or if you have a fast charger nearby, then I would say this car is a no-brainer. And it just comes down to your personal use. I mean, there will be certain markets, certain areas, even in the US regions, where owning an electric car, it's not as easy like in others, like in California. But there are ways to make it work. So if you have a predefined route like every day, if you don't go out of your way too often, or if you don't take a lot of road trips, then you can always find necessary charging station to get you to the next point. So speaking of fun, here are some curvy roads around Munich. So you can see the car, it's quite confident, it's extremely fast. So now I'm already up to like 130 kilometers in like less than 2 seconds. So regardless what speed you're at, the moment that you floor that accelerator, the car just flies, like literally flies through those corners. Braking, it's great, mostly because it also has the M performance brakes. So you can see it's so quick, it's so much fun. Look at this, I mean, it's crazy fast. All right, so let's do a quick acceleration burst. I mean, it's not from standstill, but I'm at about 30 kilometers. So it floored it. So look at this. I mean, this car is crazy fast. This is insane. Absolutely insane. So whoever says that, electric cars are not fun, they might be wrong. All right, so I'm back in sport mode. You can probably hear the sound, the iconic sound. Sounds like an engine right now. The car is sharper, completely sharper. The acceleration, a lot more responsive. And the chassis also feels stiffer. Even in the corners, it's extremely composed. There is a lot of grip, so you don't feel like you're running out of tarmac at any point in time. Of course, you can always brake late if you want. Great brakes there. And you're still getting a decent sound. Actually sounds pretty good. It is a fake sound, but it does not sound bad at all. All right, so back on the Autobahn, a little bit higher speeds right now, so we can really test the straight line acceleration. As you just saw, it is phenomenal. I mean, if you really want to, if you're in a tight situation and you really need to get out of it, this is the car to do it. I mean, it's extremely fast. I am inclined to say that if you're using some sticky rubbers and you're having the right PSI and the right tarmac, this might be faster than the new M3 and M4, and that is quite impressive. So here is the acceleration. There is no speed limit on this section here. So 170, 175, 180, 185, 190, and 200. So you can see how quick it actually goes. And I was not even flooring the pedal. I mean, I was just slowly modulating the power. Of course, the energy consumption will be higher. So if you're looking to save some kilometers or miles, if you need that, then you should definitely stay within normal speed limits. But if you're an American that comes to Europe and wants to enjoy this so-called no speed zone on the Autobahn, then yeah, just might as well go for it, because if you do this in the US and you get to those speeds, you're likely going to jail. So this is the BMW i4 M50, goes on sale this November in Europe. It will be available in the United States in spring 2022, and it will cost around $66,000. I hope you enjoyed this video. As always, thanks for watching. Please subscribe to our channel, hit that notification bell, and most important, leave a comment in the section below and tell me if you're ready to move to an electric BMW. Are you ready to give up the combustion engine? And with that being said, thanks for watching, and we'll see you guys soon.